Hey everybody, welcome back to get the microphone here. Welcome back to Think Business Live. Looking forward to talking. Valerie, it's good to see you. Valerie Hayman Sklar. Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. All right. Looking forward to talking to Valerie. Valerie, I'm looking forward to talking to you because as the world is coming back, right? You are the founder of Detroit-based Corporate Specialties. And you work with owners, you work with companies, you work with corporations, you work with event planners, you work with HR specialists on basically creating promotional marketing programs and swag, right? So let's talk about that, because as businesses are coming back, whether it's Labor Day or October, it seems like companies are really having this kind of top of mind. And so how should companies be thinking about promotional items to draw to kind of glue them a little bit to, the fun element of things?
So that's a lot in one package. So let's break it down. First, we have the people who are coming back hybrid versus coming back into the office.
Yeah.
So we've been working with clients to onboard into the new hybrid program. Mm-hmm. So a lot of clients, not a lot, but some of the clients are coming back and they're giving them a little like zipper pouch with cords in it, because when they come back and sit at their desk, it's not their desk anymore, just their desk. It's a desk that they share with somebody else a couple days a week.
Yeah.
So we're doing like little hybrid kits. So we're doing that for some of the clients. We're also, then there's people who are just coming back and they want to give, some fresh apparel and kind of, coffee mugs instead of tumblers. So we have people, companies who are doing it that way as well. Yeah. And I have clients who are like, we're ready to start getting our name out there. We're ready to do events. We're ready to see people. And they're doing apparel. They're doing gifts to drop off to clients. So we, and then we have some clients who are like dipping their foot in the water, toe in the water. They're like, what do you got?
Yeah. What do you got? What do you got? I love hearing all of this, because it's just fun for me. And I think marketing and marketing promotions are important. And, I think people and companies are looking for just something to put a smile on somebody's face. Right. And so, and that goes a long way, whether they use the mug, they don't use the mug, they use the pouch, it doesn't matter. It's that you were thinking about them and that, it's there. But I'm curious what some of the most popular things are. It's funny. I have a bunch of stuff that I got over the years. I have some T-shirts, right? I kind of have a T-shirt. I have pens. I have Yetis. I have, just like a couple things, not a lot. But one of the most popular things that people, when they see it, is they love a pad of paper. They love a pad of paper. So talk about that for a second, because it seems to be a crowd favorite, just like a white pad of paper.
Well, we do a lot of journal books. Uh-huh. Everyone loves journal books because they like to go to a meeting with holding their journal book.
Yeah.
And, I have a client who said, I don't want to do journal books again, but everyone keeps asking me for a new journal book because they want to start fresh.
Yeah.
And they want to start their, with holding a brand new, fresh journal book.
Right.
So, I have clients who like the perfect bound ones. And then I have ones who like the spiral bound ones, so they lay flat. So it's really a personal preference, but everyone likes to have a fresh, and maybe the pad of papers, because they can just tear off the peat.
Correct. Tear and go.
Yep.
Right. Put a kind of to-do list for the day, kind of their, pad of paper business plan for the day, tear it off and go. But I think there is something about that, because if people have that journal and they're bringing it to meetings or using it, they're actually looking at the company logo every single day. They're, so our companies, today, I think it's so important for companies to keep their vision alive. Every day the vision should be talked about. And so how are companies incorporating, or are companies incorporating, kind of the vision with the swag? How do they marry it so it's like it has more of a shelf life than just, here's a T-shirt and goodbye?
Right. So what they're doing is, I have a client who's doing a special day where everybody wears the t-shirt. So they give everybody, they figure out the sizes, they give everybody a t-shirt, and they say, okay, Friday, July 30th, everyone wear their t-shirt, and we're going to bring in, lunch.
Yeah.
So it builds culture. It has, what your vision or your company culture is for whoever's putting the program together.
Yeah.
And also one thing I wanted to say is, you said they might not keep it, but there's like a 78%, and I think that's the percentage, that people, if they don't keep it, they pass it on. Your logo is seen not necessarily by the person who doesn't need the promotional product, but they'll pass it on. They really don't throw it away.
I love that. That's a great stat. So what are some other studies or some stats? Because I think anytime we can ground something in numbers and quantify, I think it helps. And so what are some, do you have any other stats that, you to?
Off the top of my head, so I might be a couple of percentages off here and there, but it's like 56% of people who receive a promotional product will do business with that company.
Uh-huh.
So if they remember the logo on whatever you gave them. It's also the only type of advertising when you hand someone a promotional product or you give someone a promotional product, they will say thank you. They will acknowledge it. When you're driving down the expressway and you see the billboard, you may or may not remember it, but if someone hands you a pen in a nice box, they're going to remember who gave it to them. They're going to remember the logo on it, and they're going to thank the person.
Yeah. It's so funny you say that, because when I give people, like, I have these John Dwoskin pens in orange and black, and so I keep some, I keep some in my office. I keep some in my trunk, and, I'll say, oh, do you guys want to, like, oh my God, no, I don't, save them for, da-da-da. And I say, no, like, take, it's like Rodney Dangerfield in Back to School, like, take the pen. It's like, so I give them the pen, and they're always so like, oh my God, thank you so much. And I always think it's just a pen, right? But to your point, I didn't put that together, that people are so grateful when you just give them something kind of small.
Yeah. So I'm in downtown Detroit, and a lot of the offices I visit have security desks. So I always drop off a pen when I'm signing, and I hand it to security guy. And so one time he says, oh, I still have your pen, and he holds it up. And I said, well, here's another one. Pass it on to the security guard who takes, over your shift after you. He's like, oh my God, that's great. I didn't want to give up my pen.
Yeah.
So it makes conversation. It helps ease that cold call or that warm call as well, when you come in and you can talk about the promotional product you're handing them. The other thing that I do in my office is, when I have people come to my office in the spring and summer, I have a umbrella stand, and in the umbrella stand I have umbrellas. So if it's raining, or if it looks like it's going to rain and someone comes to my office, I hand them an umbrella when they're going out the door. In the winter, in the late fall and early winter, I hand them a tall ice scraper with a brush on the other side.
That's good. And they keep it. So the umbrella in my corner of my office, I could flip it around, is the Hayman Company umbrella. Yeah. And so it's a great umbrella. It's a great umbrella.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. But what I love about what you're talking about, there's a book, Atomic Habits by James Clear. And it's such a great book. It talks about how basically how you build habits. And one of the things he talks about is, like, for example, I may be getting the specific example wrong, but this is kind of the example. Like, if you need to floss your teeth every day, I can't remember off the top of my head what it's actually called, but leave your dental floss next to your toothbrush, because then you take the thinking out of it. It's just like it's like a 1-2 motion, right?
Right.
What you're talking about is you're just kind of setting the stage for convenience, and it's just kind of there. It's not trying to, like, pull it out of a drawer and say, oh, it's raining. You kind of create it to be part of the story, and then they get it. So I love that. I want to talk about salespeople for a minute, because you talked about, leaving your pen. I'm actually going to start leaving my pen. I'm going to start doing that. I think that's a great idea. Sometimes I leave my book when I go. I haven't been traveling, but a lot of times I'll, like, leave my book in the lobby of a hotel, or, that I wrote, and et cetera. but the pen's a better idea because I think people like pens.
Yes.
And, they like pens better than books, I think. All right, but let's talk about salespeople for a minute because you said like, hey, it's a good icebreaker. I agree with you. I think it's great. What are some other things that you're working with organizations with sales teams that are better than a brochure, right? So here's what are some of those things as companies?
So one of the things that we've done for we've done for just one client, but we can do Post-it notes, and on each Post-it note, each pad of a Post-it note is a different saying or a different some information. So you could actually build, if you don't have too much information, you could build like a Post-it note into like a mini brochure. So you could have some information on each page, and then the person could write a note, great to see you. It was great seeing you or bumping into you at Starbucks, and put it in an envelope and mail it off. And now you have information on every single page that talks about your company that's a little different. And they're going to keep it sitting next to them because they're going to use the Post-it notes.
You're full of great ideas today. That's great. So you could put like, I'll just use myself as an example. Like on one of the Post-it notes, it could say like, go to johndwoskin.com and download John's book. Here's a business tip to grow your business today. Right?
Exactly.
Something different on each piece.
Right. And it's going to sit on their desk, or it's going to be in their backpack.
Right.
Or if you put together a little pouch that has some cords in it, it'll be in there. And when they need a Post-it, they pull it out, and people still use Post-its. Post-its are still, a viable piece.
I'm so anti Post-it notes. I do a lot of time management keynotes, and I always say have one calendar, do not use Post-it notes. But I know people use it. So I'll talk to you after because I think I want to get some of those. I think that's a great idea. Like I don't use Post-it notes, but I know people do. And even though I encourage people not to use them, if they're going to use them, that's such a great idea. I'd like to have a box of 100. Right.
Right.
So,
so what we do is like for me, what I use Post-its for is I have a journal book. I keep my notes in my journal book. And then if I need to do something that's urgent before, I just put a little Post-it note on the outside of my journal book.
You know what I use Post-it notes for? I use them as bookmarks. So like when I'm reading, I'll put a Post-it note on the page that I'm on, or you know what I mean? Or I'll take, and then it gives me something where I can actually take notes if I need to, and then transfer it somewhere else. So, right. So those are great ideas. Okay. So now let's talk about companies who have never done any promotional stuff for their business, right?
Okay.
Let's talk fundamentals for a minute. Why start? Why do something?
Well, so if you have a marketing plan, not everyone has a marketing plan. The smaller companies kind of do things on a whim. I find that I do things on a whim sometimes, not having a marketing plan. But
my 2 cents on that real quickly as a business coach, I think everybody should have a marketing plan. I think it's so
I have a gist of a marketing plan, but because I sell promotional products, when I see a great, self promo, I kind of figure out how to make it work in my marketing plan. But
well, so I hear what you're saying, but in companies in general, I think no matter how small or how big, there should be a marketing plan. I don't want to sidetrack, but there should be a marketing plan because then it's easier to figure out how to insert type of stuff that you're talking about. Okay, so go ahead, keep on going.
Yeah, so promotional products enhance marketing plans. So depending on what the marketing plan is, we can always enhance what they're doing. So if they're doing sales calls, we could add promotional products to it. If they're trying to reactivate, inactive clients, we can add promotional products. So what promotional products does is enhance what you're already doing or what you're going to create. So promotional products is like the best part of, the marketing, I think, because we can have a return on your investment.
Yeah. Well, I love that. I love that word that you use. It enhances it. And so, to me, it's kind of like, as we're talking sales, it takes 8 emails to get somebody to email you back. It takes 17 calls before somebody calls you back. It takes, there's metrics that, and if you can enhance something, why not take that, why not have that advantage in your back pocket? So, it really works. And especially because now that networking events are opening and live things are happening, what can people take with them? You talked about pens and Post-it notes that are easy to carry. What are some other easy to carry, hand things out type of thing?
So I think it depends on the industry. I think it depends. That's the best thing about working with a promotional product distributor, to have a consultant actually consult with your business.
Yeah.
Because you want the promotional product not to be a commodity. You want it to be specific for their business, to enhance their business, so they get a return on their investment.
Yeah.
So if it takes 8 emails or touches to get somebody to return an email, maybe you start out by sending some kind of what I call a lumpy mail. And that way, when you email them or you call them, it's no longer a cold call. They remember that they received something from you. They might not be interested at that moment, but they may return your email and say, hey, thanks for sending that. Now you got a contact. Now you got something going. So by adding a promotional product and working with the right consultant, then you're going to be able to get a return on your investment.
Yeah.
So you're taking something that could be a commodity and you're making it, and something that's worth the money that you're going to spend.
Well, and I'm going to kind of highlight something that you just said too, Valerie. It's about working with a consultant. So if somebody works with you, they're getting ideas, and I don't think you can put a value or an ROI or a price on an idea. Right. So I always look at things and I quantify them. So, okay. So if I have a sticky note, if I'm with a client and I'm walking to Starbucks with them and it rains and I give them an umbrella and I give them a sticky note and I know they say thank you, which means there's that psychological kind of indebted feeling. Right.
Right.
So not that I'm looking for that, but that's just science. And so you need a consultant, like you're saying, to really figure out to understand the continuum and say, okay, we can put this in here so it's special to you. Exactly. It works within your dialogue. It works within your continuum. It works within your script. So it doesn't feel like you're working, or it doesn't feel like a commodity. Right. So a company to spend is a waste. If there's no strategy behind it and it doesn't fit and enhance, it doesn't make sense.
Right. So for example, if you're trying to work with your employee or get your employees to understand your culture, get excited, be happy that they're working hybrid or they're still working from home or they're actually in the office, to just throw a lot of promotional products at them is not the right way. It needs to be strategic. It needs to be planned. It needs to, if you're going to do things and they're not going to know why they're receiving it, it needs to have a note. You need to be able to know the way to distribute it, so the person receiving it understands why they're receiving it. They feel good about it.
Right. There's got to be the connection, the understanding, the emotional connection. What I'm hearing you say, like anything else. I love this conversation because I think a lot of times people think promotional item, but you're talking about and really zooming out to the strategy, the ROI,
exactly,
quantify, fit into everything that you do, the importance of it, driving culture and vision, and really giving people something that fits within their day, their mindset, their sales continuum, and everything. I love it. All right, you ready for a quick speed round, Val?
Sure.
All right. Favorite book and why?
Small Giants.
Have we ever talked about Small Giants?
No, we haven't. That's my favorite. Since it came out, that's my favorite book.
So I've interviewed Bo. I'm in Small Giants. I go to the the thing every year.
Oh, wow.
Are you part of Small Giants?
No, I read it like 10 years ago.
You need to be part of it. I'll introduce you to Hemsa. She runs it.
Okay.
And if you want to talk to Bo, he's the nicest guy. I interviewed him on my show, and Paul Spiegelman, who helps Bo run it. It's an incredible organization, an incredible book. But you should be at the last 2 or 3 years, their yearly event has been at the summit, has been in Detroit.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Well, I'll connect you with everybody.
Okay. So yes, that's my favorite book.
Yeah. It's so great. Yeah. Best piece of wisdom you've ever received.
The harder you work, the luckier you get.
Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one. Finish this sentence. One thing everybody needs to do when thinking about their budget for promotional products is
to find the right consultant.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Because the budget is going to be more effective with an ROI if you find the right person who can give you that one idea. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. I love it. Finish this sentence. Somebody who starts doing promotional items for a company should do it for how long?
Forever. Like you just keep changing it up.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Right.
Right. You find what's on trend and you just modify, the promotional product.
Yeah, I love it. This was like a master's class in promotional marketing today. Tell everybody, Val, who your ideal client is and how they can get in touch with you.
I think everybody who's willing to be open-minded and see promotional products as a viable advertising medium is a client, be able to explore return on your investment. People who want to grow their business and have a marketing plan want to enhance it with promotional products.
Yeah, I love it. Tell them how they can connect with you.
So my website is corporatespecialties.com, and on there is all my information, my phone number, my email.
All right, good. Val, appreciate your time. This was great. I loved it. Yeah, I loved it. You did great. You opened up my eyes. I love, as a business coach, I always love a good idea. And, one of the things I do with my clients is, create ideas, right? And then we vision, create, reverse engineer, build plans, work with them on executing, but you cannot put a price on a good idea. And you shared a ton of great ideas. Yeah. And I'll say this too. The ideas are almost like you listen to them and you're like, wow, that's so simple, but it's so simple, it's complicated. And that's why you need somebody to be in your corner consulting with you on strategy. Yes. Thanks, Val. Always love seeing you. I appreciate your insight. Think community, if Val can help you, corporatespecialties.com. And she does great work. Thanks, Val. Appreciate it.
Thanks.